In this video, I'll show you how to attach a flat piece onto a 3D one. The basic concept behind sewing a flat piece onto a 3D piece is that you're going to use the yarn tail from the flat piece to sew every single stitch around the edge of this flat piece onto the 3D piece. So let's say we want the piece to be sewn on here. We got to take a look at the yarn tail and look at where it's coming out of. We want to match that spot with a spot on the blue piece. So it looks like it would match up vaguely around here in this hole. So I'm going to stick my needle into that hole and pull it out one stitch away, following the curve of this flat piece. I'm going to pull it tight and then stick my needle into the orange piece under the stitch that matches up with where this yarn tail is now coming out of. It should be one stitch over from wherever the yarn tail just went through. So it goes under this V from the bottom up. Pull tight. All right, now because this is a flat piece being sewn on, we actually want to stick the needle under the next horizontal V on the edge of the orange piece, the flat piece, going in the opposite direction. So going towards the blue piece, pull tight. Now stick the needle one stitch over on the blue piece so that it lines up with where the yarn tail is already naturally coming out of, and bring the needle one stitch over so that it again will be now lining up with the next stitch on the orange piece. Pull tight. And we're going to keep repeating this pattern of putting the needle under the next stitch on the flat piece, pulling tight, and then bringing the needle the opposite way under the next stitch on the flat piece, and then putting the needle into the 3D piece, and then moving it one stitch over to follow the curve of the flat piece. Always remembering to pull tight at every single point until we make our way back to the beginning, and I will meet you there. All right, I have sewn on every single stitch on the flat piece to the 3D piece. I can see that this is where my yarn tail is currently going through, and this is the stitch that the yarn tail originally went through. So now I'm ready to hide my yarn tail. So to do that, I'm going to stick my needle under the next stitch on the flat piece, pull tight, and then stick my needle into the 3D piece and pull it through somewhere on the other side of my piece until that yarn tail disappears. And now I'm going to cut the yarn tail as close as possible to the surface of the piece. And in this case, the yarn tail did disappear into the piece, but in case there was any yarn tail sticking out here, you could just massage your piece until it disappears. And this is how you attach a flat piece onto a 3D one.